Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to be working on this sketch here. It's an Operation Right Home, but we're going to be doing the square side. Okay, so that's the one that I'm going to focus on as far as for my design today. And you can pause here, cut your papers, and then come join me at the table. So I'm going to continue using this Julie Nutting, whatever her name is, paper collection. I'm not done with it. I have a few more sheets left and I feel like I still want to use it, so we're going to use it up. So on this one, I have my base paper, my matte paper being white because my cardstock for the card base is going to be black. And so I'm going to use my gold peel offs as like a little accent, a little something sparkle. I don't know why. I just always like to have something sparkly on my papers. It just gives it a little something something, right? I don't know. And whenever it's pink, I always love it. I could do silver, gold, it don't matter. Whatever, as long as it's sparkly. That's all that I care about. All right, so I'm just leaving a little bit over on the end so I can tuck it underneath. And I've started being conscious of how I'm putting the card together to make sure that when I do that, it's underneath this first layer before I attach it to our matte paper. Because the other time when I went around the entire thing, I didn't like the way that looked going over the matte. It made it seem like it was messier, if that makes sense. So thankfully, since I had that wet glue on the back, it allowed me to kind of lift up there on that top corner and kind of readjust, which is the benefit of using wet glue with any of your tape runners, whether it be this one, your Tombow adhesive, the ATG gun. If you use a little bit of wet glue with it, it gives you just a few more seconds to where you can lay it down, and if it's not straight, kind of pull it back up and then place it where it needs to be, because some of these tapes, when you put your paper down, that's a wrap. If you try and pull it up, it will definitely tear, or you have to get some of that undo liquid, which is fine if that's the way you want to do it. But to me, I like to save the undo more for like when I'm making scrapbooks from scratch. It definitely helps for that. But I don't usually use it a whole lot on my cards. I try to use just the wet glue and the tape that I'm using, and that gives me enough time to be able to move. Now I've cut a 4 by 5 1/4 piece that's going to go on the inside because my black paper is more on the flimsier side. So since it's a lighter weight, paper, and I'm building up a few layers on the front of the card, I definitely wanted to put something on the inside so that way it would mimic the weight and keep the card pretty sturdy. That would be my suggestion to anybody. If you're not using 110 pound or anything that has some substance to it, definitely add layers, but don't forget to layer your inside. Okay, so for the large, I guess it's more of a rectangle shape, I'm going to use some foam squares on the back to give it a little bit of dimension. And then I'm just putting a little bit of glue. That way, if I lay it down, it'll give me a little bit of wiggle room time where I could kind of like shift it and move it around. And then I'm trying to figure out placement. I have these pre-made sentiment strips, and I wanted to just use it because you make them ahead of time, so it makes it easier for when you're putting your cards together. You can just grab a sentiment and keep it going. So I want to show people you can use the sentiments that you already have pre-done. You don't have to necessarily go by the size that's on the sketch, and it still creates a similar shape, and I like the way it looks. It works fine. And then I'm putting 3 dots at the top because I'm grabbing some of these pebbles. They're almost like enamel dots or little stickers. I'm using 3 of the black ones up along the top edge. And I just put a little bit of glue down to make sure it definitely stays. And I had a little bit of glue right there on the edge. At least I thought I did. I think it's just a little distressing in the paper, but I tried to be really soft. I know my hand's moving like 20 miles an hour, but I just was barely touching the paper just to kind of fix a little bit of the glue that I felt like was on that little part there. Okay, so this is the card that I did first off camera, and sort of like my tester. And you can see I did the sentiment. I kept it square. I didn't put any of the matting behind it, and it turned out fine. So there's different things you can do. You can emboss your sentiment. You could, if you have a really big sentiment, you could put it as the centerpiece and just leave the small strip on the side off, or use a pattern paper over on the side there. Yeah, really, there's a lot of different choices you can make. You can make it glitter paper and then attach it to the front. So, just have fun. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And also hit that little notification bell so that way you get updated whenever I upload new videos. And I will see you guys with our next video should be coming up. Actually, I'm going to be doing a live this Sunday coming at 4 p.m. It's going to be my first live, and it's going to be a part of my little scrapbook store, which is a store that I work with on Facebook, and there's in New Jersey. They're having a crop this weekend, so come and check it out, okay? Thanks, guys.